So for today's movie review, I'll be reviewing the movie Atlantic Rim, or sometimes called Attack from Beneath, Attack from the Atlantic Rim, or From the Sea. This movie was made by the Asylum movie studios that are well known for their mockbusters. For example, they made mockbusters of the following films: Transformers, Snakes on a Plane, I Am Legend, Jack the Giant Killer, and the beat goes on. The plot of Atlantic Rim, it's basically Pacific Rim, but it's just crappier. As for what I liked about this film, I got really nothing. Like, the only thing I can think of is really bad humor, but that's about it. Like, there's nothing going for this film. Now, as to what I disliked about the film, it's made by Asylum. As I said earlier, they're notorious for their mockbusters. And it's just, how is it possible that that company's still in existence? I mean, their movies are so bad. How is it that they're not shut down? These are a lot worse than the movies that they show on Sci-Fi. God damn. And you know how bad those movies are. Like this, like the acting is terrible. The dialogue is just a mess. The CGI to the robots and sea monsters are terrible. And speaking of the robot designs and giant monster designs, now since this is a mockbuster of Pacific Rim, with the giant Jaegers from Pacific Rim, those look like something out of an anime, and they at least represent a country. These here, they all look the same, except one of them was red, blue, and green, and they kind of look like crappy CGI versions of the Destroyer from Thor. And the weaponry for these things is like, okay, because one of them has a hammer, an axe, and one of them had like, I don't know what it was at first, because it looks like a lance or like a crowbar, but then they said it was like a sword. I'm like, that's a sword? That is one bad looking sword. And also these characters, they're just cliched as hell. Like, this thing is just nothing but cliches put together. Then also the sea monsters in this movie, with the kaiju in the Pacific Rim, they look like they're based on actual animals, and they look some Godzilla-esque like monsters. These here just look like something from a really bad version of Jurassic Park. Like, these things just look like aquatic velociraptors. That's what they look like. Just goddamn. As for the characters, yeah. Basically, the three characters you get focused on are named Red, Tracy, and Jim. Red is basically your typical hothead. She's basically the tomboy of the group, but she also is the damsel in distress because she gets saved a lot. And Jim is basically the central brains of the operation. Then you have just a bunch of military people. Like, one of them's supposed to be like the sergeant from Pacific Rim, but it's like, his acting wasn't that good. Then there's a guy with an eye patch. This guy was the antagonist of the movie, okay? Like, you basically look at him, it's just like, really? There's a guy with an eye patch? You pretty much know he's the bad guy. For my final verdict on Atlantic Rim, there's nothing going for this film. This film is just a piece of shit. I know that this movie is supposed to be a mockbuster of Pacific Rim, but just, like, how is this movie company still making these movies? CGI is just bad. The plot is just garbage. And as for the characters, they're all cliched and have horribly written dialogue. And you just know what this movie is. And before I give my final rating, what does everyone else have to say about Atlantic Rim? Yeah, get generally negative reviews. Not surprised. I give Atlantic Rim a 1 out of 5. See you later.